Welcome into another edition of Cowboys Rewind. I'm Dani Sureck. The Cowboys are off their bye week now and ready to play some football with a new player on their roster. Just days before the NFL trade deadline, the Cowboys acquired defensive lineman Michael Bennett from the New England Patriots for a conditional 7th-round 2021 draft pick. The three-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champion is in his 11th season after going undrafted in 2009 out of Texas A&M before signing with Seattle. If the last name sounds familiar, it's because it probably is. He's the brother of former Cowboys tight end Martellus Bennett, the Cowboys' second-round draft pick in 2008, who was here until 2011. This acquisition adds depth and versatility to the defensive line after the loss of Tyrone Crawford, who had season-ending hip surgery. Crawford could play inside at tackle and outside at end. Bennett can do the same. Head coach Jason Garrett says Bennett is a smart player and expects him to pick up the scheme rather quickly.
We played against him a lot. He's just one of those defensive linemen who's hard to block. And he's a good run defender. He's a good pass rusher. He's around the quarterback a lot. He has a knack for making plays. And he competes the right way and plays the right way. And like I said, we've been trying to block him for a number of years and had an opportunity to get him and bring him on board. And we think he can help our football team. He has versatility. He plays outside and inside and has been productive in both spots.
This ain't my first time playing with him. I got a chance to play with him at the Pro Bowl, and just by the knowledge and what he acquired over his years, and being able to bring that here is a blessing. So we're thankful.
How do you guys feel about the fact that this team is still so active, trying to just bolster this roster as you guys go into this next stretch of the season after the bye?
You say, how do I feel about the team being what?
That your team is still being active, scanning the waiver wires, seeing if they can make a trade just to upgrade this team.
Yeah, hats off to Will and the guys in the front office for making these big time moves, but it's all about us just staying focused on our craft and letting them handle those type of things. And when they bring a guy in, accept them because we understand that he can help our cause and get to a Super Bowl and winning it. But it's all about maintaining our details and focusing on week by week.
He's real. So you got to respect that. A guy who says what he feels and he speaks from the heart. So it's a different caliber player. It's a guy that we appreciate and just happy to have, on our team. Looking forward to getting after him, for sure.
He plays with the edge. Is that what you need? The guy who plays the edge?
He plays with the edge, tenacity, full confidence in himself. He's never out there doubting. So you need that. It's all about building that trust factor now. Being a part of, the D-boys. And, we know how we want to play the game. So
from the first second, he clicked right in. Everyone welcomed him in, open arms. And like I said, his resume speaks for itself. He has the talent, and they went and got him for a reason. So now it's come Monday. We got to put on our best show.
How much have you admired his willingness to speak out on issues that he cares about?
I'm sorry?
How much have you admired his willingness to speak out on issues that he cares about?
Well, there's one thing that's called freedom of speech, so I don't ever think you should bite your tongue, no matter on what the situation may be. So speak your mind, no matter who's asking the question, whatever the question may be, speak your mind.
The players are eager to have another disruptive piece on the defensive line. Coming up, we'll have more Bennett talk and the risk the Cowboys took with this trade.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Academy, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
The newest Dallas Cowboy defensive lineman Michael Bennett recorded 2.5 sacks in just 6 games with the Patriots this season. That's now the 3rd highest on the Cowboys, only behind defensive ends Robert Quinn with 6 and DeMarcus Lawrence with 3.5. The Break podcast broke down the risk and reward factor of acquiring Bennett from the Patriots.
This is a guy that would have had the second highest sack total on this team. That to me says, okay, I'll take a chance on the fact that he was just not a guy that could fit into what the Patriots are trying to do. And worst case scenario, he's not that good. You didn't lose anything. You gave up a 7th-round pick and maybe a 6th-round pick.
How many
for
times
him.
did he bounce around this year?
He went
before
from
the Patriots. He was
with the Eagles.
Yes,
the
he was with
Eagles
the Eagles.
traded him to New England in the spring.
Right.
Before that, he was one of the mainstays on that Seattle defense.
I would be more concerned about why the Eagles let him go than why the Patriots let him go. Because the Eagles do what the Cowboys do, and they decided, hey, we're ready to move on from him. So that, to me, would be more of a concern than the Patriots. But again, like I said, a guy that had 9.5 sacks a year ago, take that chance. Like, they didn't give up much to take that chance. It's not like his salary is that high, so go for it.
Well, he's got some, he's got some baggage, I guess, and he's got some that might be an issue with the Cowboys. Now, I don't know if this has all been worked out. We were told the trade came together quick, so you wonder if questions about his stance on the anthem, his stance on Jason Witten, why he was suspended a game with an altercation with the coach for the Patriots. So, there are some issues here, and he's very, like Dave said, very outspoken. He's an author of a book, that's very outspoken, and it could be an issue if the leaders in the locker room and don't handle it, but. It's not like he hasn't been an effective player where he's been. And
does he exactly fit what the Cowboys are going to be missing with Tyrone Crawford?
If he plays like he's played, it's an upgrade. And I like Tyrone Crawford.
And he does what Crawford does, but he's better at it, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's better at it.
That's in a perfect world. Yeah, I call that an upgrade.
And I don't think Michael Bennett has had the as good of pass rushers around him as he'll have here with Quinn and D-Law. And even Hyder, it's nothing against what the Seahawks did back then, because obviously they won a Super Bowl. They were a great defense. They had about 4 really good rushers, right?
Yeah,
good rushers.
They didn't have a stud. They just had 5 really good. They had Averill, they had Bennett, they had another dude whose name is escaping me. Clark didn't get there till later, but I mean, they had at their peak, they had about 5 that just kept coming.
Right, which is kind of what you're recreating here, I think, to some degree.
You can't say that Bennett only cares about winning because he forced his way off the best team in the league, but I think he cares about winning and competing and having a role. I've never met the guy, but he seems like an alpha in the truest terms.
This was the only trade move by the team before the deadline. However, they are not new to making changes during the bye week. Next, we'll rewind to the 2018 bye week and see how those changes are panning out so far. Welcome back to Cowboys Rewind. This time last year was a bit of a whirlwind for the team. It was week 8 of the 2018 season and the bye week when the Cowboys traded for wide receiver Amari Cooper, giving the Oakland Raiders a 2019 first-round draft pick. This year, Cooper leads the team in receptions, yards, and receiving touchdowns. Also, during the bye week in 2018, Mark Colombo was promoted from assistant offensive line coach to offensive line coach after the firing of Paul Alexander. Colombo was already familiar with the team. He had been coaching since 2015 when he started his coaching career and says his experiences and his previous roles prepped him to become the offensive line coach. When he took over this time last year, the Cowboys were 4-3 and had no consistency, no back-to-back wins. He says at that time, his main focus was getting back to the basics.
We just need some guys to step up, make some plays, and they will.
With us, it all starts with running the football. That was big. Getting back to basics and fundamentals. We got away from that a little bit, and that's something I really wanted to hone in on, just a technique and certain drills that we've done in the past, but kind of put my own little spin on it, and just getting back to basics. When things start to unravel, that's what you got to do. You got back to basics, get back to kind of being who we are.
Although he says it was a difficult task to take over as offensive line coach in the middle of the season, Colombo says those are the situations he thrives in. I'm a guy you throw me in the fire and I'm coming out. Okay, I'm coming out alive. And that's kind of what happened. I got thrown in the fire, that's when I thrive. When your back's against the wall, thrive mentality, and that's something Coach Garrett preaches, which is, it's for coaches too, not just players. And it's a position I like being in. All right, kind of proving people wrong and proving people what I can do.
You become more confident, with success, all right? And you also become more confident with learning from your mistakes. And that's something that, I've been able to grow quite a bit in a little amount of time.
Colombo says he can describe his coaching style in one word.
I'd say it's intense. The guys would say I'm a pretty intense coach. I harp on attention to detail and stuff like that, but it's about playing with passion, emotion, enthusiasm, that type of stuff. But on the sidelines, you would think I'd be real fiery and, yelling, getting the guys all fired up. It's really the exact opposite of that. We want to get it right in between series. Kind of had to take a step back, from my normal self, wants to just get guys fired up and get going, but that's really not what coaching is. Coaching's all about getting the details right and be able to fix things on the fly and make adjustments, and that's something that we've done a good job with so far.
The passion Colombo coaches with is in his blood from his time as an offensive lineman in the NFL. He was drafted by the Bears in 2002 and spent 2005 through 2010 in Dallas. Colombo says his time as a player allows him to relate to his players now as a coach in a unique way.
It's a benefit to them. It's a benefit to me to just kind of know what they're thinking on a daily basis. I think it gives me kind of an advantage as a coach in that aspect.
During his time as a Cowboy, Colombo wasn't just hitting his keys on the field, he was also hitting them on his guitar with his band Free Reign.
That formed here. A buddy of mine, Corey Proctor, he played drums. Obviously he was a backup center guard here for a while. And Leonard Davis, who my partner in crime was, he played guard next to me. He played bass, and I played guitar, and I've always loved writing songs. So that was something we kind of came together, and every once in a while, Coach Garrett will have a party every year, and I'll go play his party pretty much the whole entire time. So that's kind of fun.
Colombo says after he retired from football, he didn't try to pursue music. However, he never imagined he would end up where he is now.
I never thought in a million years I'd be coaching for the Dallas Cowboys, and I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. My kids are a part of it. My wife's a part of it. I plan on wearing a jacket or something with a star on there no matter what position I'm in the Cowboys organization.
Colombo says he finds himself coaching with qualities he had in coaches he played for, including Bill Parcells, who coached the Cowboys from 2003 to 2006. Colombo says with Parcells, you couldn't be hurt. And Colombo says that's not a knock on the training staff. They were just as phenomenal then as they are now. However, he says Parcells didn't like his players in the training room. He says if you had an ankle injury, you were likely practicing the next day. And that's something Colombo says he still struggles with a little when he sees players sitting out at practice. Colombo and the rest of the Cowboys will prepare to face the New York Giants for some Monday Night Football. We'll have a breakdown on the threats the Giants have now that they didn't have the last time these two teams met in Week 1. The Cowboys beat the Giants 35-17 in Week 1. However, this time around, the Giants have a handful of players who didn't play that week. Wide receiver Golden Tate is no longer serving a league suspension and has given the Cowboys trouble on really any team he's played for in his career. In 2018, when he was with the Eagles, he put up 132 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys. The Giants are also starting their 2019 first-round draft pick, quarterback Daniel Jones. In Week 1, he came in as a reliever for Eli Manning, however, has been New York's starter since Week 3 and has thrown for 10 touchdowns since. The Talking Cowboys podcast took a phone call this week about the new difficulties the Giants team will pose for the Cowboys.
The Giants are in the National Football League, right?
Oh, they pay their players too?
And was not Barkley their leading receiver last year?
He was.
So it's not a surprise.
No.
Right? They saw it last year.
Sure did.
So, yeah.
But I think he makes a point. I think you mentioned Golden Tate. Brian, you wrote about him.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have him the first time around, and this is a guy that's given this defense fits on another team.
Yeah.
But what are you seeing from their offense now with Daniel Jones at quarterback and just some of the weapons they've got in, including Barkley, of course?
Yeah, the ball clearly is going down the field more. It's accurately going down the field. And they've got a couple of guys. You mentioned Golden Tate. You also, Darius Slayton out of Auburn is another player, rookie. Usually the learning curve for rookie wide receivers is pretty steep. This kid's done a pretty good job of coming in. They've thrown him some 50-50 balls. He had 2 touchdowns against the Lions last week. He's a 6'1" guy, plays much taller than that. You watch him go up and get the ball. He's a great athlete. When he was at Auburn, you could see they throw him the ball short, and he's like a really good run after the catch guy. Those are the problems you have to worry about with him, the speed, the quickness, and stuff like that. He's got Daniel Jones has found him. He's found Tate. They're going to use Evan Ingram. He's right about the back. Jim's right about the back coming out of the backfield. The problem that the Giants have had is when they don't pick up blitzes, when they don't block well up front. The quarterback can turn the ball over instantly. He has problems with awareness in the pocket. He has problems protecting the football in the pocket. And when teams really come after him, you can create turnovers with him.
Fumble return for a touchdown.
And that's why. And I think that's why. Maybe DeMarcus Lawrence was saying Little Manning. He kind of described Daniel Jones as Little Manning, because we've seen that from the past with the Giants. If you hit Eli Manning and you can affect him in the pocket, he will turn the ball over. And that's the biggest problem with Daniel Jones right now. They're a better team with him playing quarterback, and they're an outstanding running team when they can get that going. The problem is I don't see the problems with the Giants being their offense. I see the problems their defense. They have done nothing. They get no pass rush, and they don't defend the pass very well. So what happens is they're in a lot of games where they're close, and then they can't finish a game because their defense is bad.
The Giants are 28th in the league in total defense, allowing an average of almost 400 yards per game. When the Cowboys were playing the Eagles 2 weeks ago, North Texas was hit by multiple tornadoes, causing almost $2 billion worth of damage. The Dallas Cowboys have stepped up to help those in the community in more ways than one. More on how next. North Texas was recently hit by multiple destructive tornadoes, and considering the densely populated path the tornadoes took, it's incredibly amazing that there were no casualties. However, many homes, trees, and schools were destroyed. Thomas Jefferson High School's homecoming football game was rescheduled and relocated because of the damage to the school. Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones and his wife Jean Jones attended the football game with a pretty special surprise. The Jean and Jerry Jones Family Foundation, along with the NFL Foundation, donated $1 million to rebuild Thomas Jefferson's football field and replace lost equipment due to the storm. Kyle Yeomans has the story.
On a chilly October Saturday, the Patriots of Thomas Jefferson High were prepping to face the Spruce Timberwolves for homecoming. However, this homecoming bout was for so much more than just football. The matchup was scheduled to take place at Thomas Jefferson High, but due to an F3 tornado just 6 days prior, the game had to be moved to the Lowe's Athletic Complex. Leading up to kickoffs, the Patriots were surprised by the owner, president, and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, alongside Charlotte Anderson and Pro Football Hall of Famer Charles Haley.
But you gotta have the willingness to step out on faith and realize, guess what? I got a great day today to walk out on this field and express myself.
Thanks to the Jean and Jerry Jones Foundation and the NFL Foundation, Dallas Independent School District received a donation of $1 million to rebuild the damaged facilities and replace lost football equipment during the devastation of the October tornado.
It's about family. This is the value of football. This is the value of team, and this is where we all come together.
These boys represent our children, our brothers and sisters, their families who are young people themselves up there, the moms and dads, but goes all the way through the grandparents. Certainly we know what sports can mean. We know what football can mean. It's more than a field. It is about community.
The Cowboys didn't stop there. Cowboys players and the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders provided lunch for teachers and administrators in DISD who have been working tirelessly to relocate students because of storm damage to schools. The Cowboys are not the only organization making a difference in the Metroplex. Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban matched the Jones family's donation of $1 million. And the Dallas Stars visited a DISD school to help sort donations for students who were relocated because of storm damage. The Cowboys will head north to face their division rival, the New York Giants, for some Monday Night Football. Kickoff is at 7:15 Central Time. However, you can tune in to Cowboys pregame live just before at 6 p.m. on all Dallas Cowboys platforms. That'll do it for Cowboys Rewind this week. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. SWBC Mortgage, financial solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit swbc.com. And by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. Want to tour AT&T Stadium? For more information, call 817-892-TOUR or visit dallascowboys.com/tours.